Dungeons & Dragons has been around for decades, and what started as a game that was only played with pencils, dice, and imagination has spawned something that has its own line of board games, miniatures, video games, and I know I'm not supposed to mention it, but movies.
I suggest we lay low, let the whole thing blow over, come back, rob everybody.
In our modern world, it is still possible to play the game with all the simple things like I just mentioned, but what most players forget is that we have a willing companion that's here to help us out with it. Our cell phones. Alexa, cast mirror image.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now.
Now that Alexa has her shit together, let's start diving into these apps. And as a disclaimer, every app that I'm going to tell you about is available for both Apple and Android phones, and every single one of them will have a link to their product page in the description below. Now first up is going to be Spell List 5th Edition, and Dungeons & Dragons is a game that is full of spells that span a multitude of different manuals, whether it be the Player's Handbook, Xanathar's Guide, the Sword Coast Adventures, you name it. And nothing quite slows down combat like flipping through 7 different manuals just to figure out what the range is on Magic Missile. Now that being said, a lot of players use spell cards so they can quick reference these things, but spell cards can not only be expensive, but are easily lost. Spell List is like owning every single spell card in existence, as it lists not only the name, but the components, distance, range, you name it, it's a part of it, and it's just like if you were looking it up in the manual. In addition to this, you can assign spells to character profiles for quick and easy reference, so you only have to look up which spells your character knows, and it even keeps track of which spells your character knows and which they have prepared, because that's something you keep extremely close track of, right? In addition to this, you get access to look up all the spells and can even sort them by different things such as subclasses, including the more rare ones like Spore Druid or Undying Warlock. Now, the best news of all of this is that the app is actually free, and with free you get access to every single spell in existence. The only problem is that you can only have access to one character profile, and if you want to unlock a more premium edition that allows more character profiles, you gotta pay a whopping $1.50. Oh. So with this, hopefully the only thing that's slowing down your combat after this is your rogue in your party arguing with your dungeon master about whether or not they get sneak attack damage. The next app that we're going to be going over is one called Game Master 5. And Game Master 5 is an app that targets the many aspects of being a dungeon master. Now in the app, you create a campaign, and in the campaign you add in all of your player character's stats. Then you can very easily populate different encounters, as the app comes preloaded with a bunch of monster information, including stats, abilities, and you name it. Once you build an encounter, you can simply click on it, and then it is just as easy to roll initiative as it is to send a text message with the click of a button, instead of going through various different manuals and rolling a d20 about 200 times for every kobold that is facing the party. In addition to this, keeping track of monster health has never been easier, as all you have to do is simply click the monster in the app, say how much damage they were received by a player character, or perhaps even healing done by an ally, and it's instantly calculated for you. No math, nothing involved. Now if all that wasn't enough, it also includes its own quick Dungeon Master screen, which includes many of the various rules, abilities, and conditions for quick reference. It has its own spell list, though not as exhaustive as our previous app that we just talked about for quick reference as well, and even includes a lot of the magical item descriptions found in the Dungeon Master Guide so that you can quickly assign them to characters and pull up the statistics when needed. And if that wasn't enough, it even includes its own quest journal so you can keep track of notable events, has this entire section dedicated to notable NPCs, and can even upload your own data for homebrew spells, items, etc. And it's because of this last feature that the internet has graciously already put in all the data from other manuals and campaigns that may not have initially been included that you can find online as well. And I know what you're thinking. With all of these features, there's absolutely no way that this app is free. And you're half right. With the free version, you do get access to most all of the materials provided, including the items, spells, etc. What you are limited by is you can only have one campaign active at a time, and that campaign can only have 3 active encounters, which can be somewhat limiting. If you decide that you want to lift these descriptions, all it's going to cost you is a whopping $2.99, which is about a 100% increase from our last one, so maybe don't go to Starbucks today. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Game Master 5's companion app, Fight Club 5. This is essentially the same app, only more geared towards player characters this time. With it, it has a lot of the similar features found in Game Master 5, such as quick reference rules, conditions, the ability to look up spells and items, and the ability to upload your own content. However, with a renewed focus on player characters, and with that, there's more information about classes, races, and backgrounds that characters will find more useful. In addition to this, all of the information that player characters may upload into it is easily exportable and easily given to the Dungeon Master, making for seamless integration between the two. Now, the last app we're going to talk about today is 5th Edition Character Sheet. And 5th Edition Character Sheet is a great tool for anyone who doesn't really enjoy the build aspects of Dungeons & Dragons that much, doesn't have the time to do it, or maybe is brand new to Dungeons & Dragons in general. It can take you from 0 to fully fledged character in under 5 minutes and is easily the fastest I've ever built a character in Dungeons & Dragons. It has completely updated lists of every different class, race, you name it, it has it, including some of the rarer races like the Turtle or the Arakoa, or even the most updated kind of unearthed Arcana class, the Artificer. It is a great tool to ensure that you're checking all of your boxes when making a character and including all the features of your race, class, and background. That being said, nothing comes free, and the free version will allow you to make a level 1 character. However, if you want to make multiple characters, or even want to level that first character up, you're going to have to fork over the $2.99, tying it with Game Master 5 for most expensive on the list. But if you're willing to part with $3 whole, you may never need to sit down with the player's handbook ever again. If there are any apps that you think I should talk about or maybe forgot on this video, I'd love to hear about them, as this is kind of a brief overview of the ones I use most commonly in my campaign. That's actually going to wrap up our video on apps, and as always, I'd love you forever if you liked, favorite, or subscribed. You can check out all my previous content in the playlist over here or over here. I'm RPGMD, writing you a prescription on all things dice, dragons, and gaming, and I'll see you guys next week.